Good morning, guys. So, um, welcome back to the channel. If you just got here, my name is Alistair from Pack Group, and this channel is all about finances, real estate investing, financial freedom, understanding your worth, all that good stuff. So, if you're a returning person, nice to see you again. If you're new, please consider to subscribe and like. So, this series is about our experience as real estate investors, for the first time real estate investors in a rental property. And so we are going through an eviction situation, and our tenants, she's a nightmare, okay? She's a motherfucking bitch. But I digress. So let me just explain why. So if other videos, you can kind of follow the story. But so this is the morning, today is the morning after yesterday's court victory at the rent escrow court. So to give you a quick recap, the tenant brought us to court for rent escrow. The case was dismissed because there was nothing. The court didn't deem it, the environment, our property, to be a health hazard. But unfortunately, courts have to follow a protocol of inspection. And so the tenant who initiated the rent escrow protocol has been denying access to the court inspectors to do their job and inspect the property. So then the court asked us, the owners, to give the tenant a 24-hour notice of inspection. And that notice was yesterday. So the inspection is today at 11 a.m. And it's, what time is it? Hey, Google, what time is it?
11:51 a.m.
So 11:51 a.m. and my sister's there right now with the keys to the house and with the inspector and tries to get in. The key doesn't work. The front door, the back door key does not work. That bitch changed the locks of the house. That dumbass bitch. Anyway, so this dumb bitch changed the locks of the whole house. And so now, my sister's there right now. I have no idea what's going on the grounds. We've been in communication through phone, so hopefully she can experience this situation, and we can report back to you. But that's what it is. And the thing is that the court appointed inspector is not able to do his job. That's going to be on the record. Her eviction court date is set for December the 2nd, and the courts are backed up, of course, but it's not helping her case at all. And another thing also to keep in mind is, when you're facing a situation like this, as we are, it's very easy to feel frustrated and overwhelmed and sometimes desperate. But here comes the power of doing the math. Our frustration does not come from the fact that our finances are taking a hit. Yeah, of course, we're bleeding money, but we did the math. So that bleed of money was factored into our worst case scenario. We're not worried about the money. And that's the power. That's the power you have to do. You have to do the math, and you need to put yourself in the position of power in worst case scenarios where you can weather the storm. We have planned for this. We've planned for a financial situation where a tenant would not be paying indefinitely, and an eviction would take indefinitely. Yeah, we factored that in. An indefinite amount of time where a non-paying tenant would be sitting there eating our resources, right? The math add up. We factored in the worst case scenario and we pulled the trigger based on the worst case scenario. And that's why our pockets are not being hurt. We can afford this. We can afford this. And that is the power of saying no. We have so much leverage over this bitch. All right? And I'm going to call her a bitch. And if I'm going to call her a bitch, it's because this. Number one, I can. Number two, she's a bitch. Like, her behavior is very bitch-like. And number three, I don't know. I have no number three. I don't like her. And I don't see the need to sugarcoat any of this. I don't see the need to even be remotely considerate of this bitch. But that being said, I'll report back with as much information as I can to let you know how this is progressing. To change the locks. I mean, what? How do you explain that to the court? I changed the locks. Why did you change the locks? It's like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Okay, so a quick update. Obviously, the elephant in the room is that I changed. All right. I mean, it's the day still has to move on, right? So, all right. So, hey Google, what time is it? Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 12:35 p.m.
Okay, so it's 12:35, and so I just got an update from my sister that apparently, what the hell did she say? The tenant told the cops that she was going to personally schedule an inspection with the court, and with the court inspector, and of course the cops were like, "Okay, sure, no problem. I guess that's fine." But and my sister kind of insinuated that the locks were not really changed, that she blocked the handle or something like that. Which, you know what? I mean, my frustration is not on the financials. I know she's gonna get out. There's no way. Even at the worst case scenario, the court is like, you know what? Give her another 2 months. We'll give her another 2 months. I'm not worried about the finances. We are insured and we have enough. I mean, we did the math. We can afford this. My biggest frustration is the fact that I have to deal with stupidity, and I am beyond that point in my life. I'm beyond that stage in my life where I deal with stupid people, especially those who are purposely stupid. It's a lot. There's a lot of fun involved in dealing with people who want to learn. That's fun, but people who are just blatantly mediocre, like, what do I do with that? What do you do with that? There's nothing to be done with that. You give me mediocre, I don't want it. I'm going to put it in the trash. So I'm more frustrated at being forced to deal with mediocrity. It's just, ugh. I'm allergic. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, let me go. Let me finish my day. My day still needs to move on. I got other stuff to do than to deal with a deadbeat tenant. So I'll come back and give you an update if there's one. But either way, like and subscribe, comment, and if you've been through this experience before, let us know. You know, we'll like to know. We definitely would like to know what your experience was with tenants that are just awful. And you know another thing also that I feel somewhat kind of bad for, she's a single mom. Like, what kind of example are you setting up for that poor kid? I mean, he's 17, but still. And nothing about the situation you could say that we're deadbeat landlords, right? I mean, yeah. What do you say to landlords like us? If you're out there like pro-tenant, what do you say to landlords like us? Oh no, like, you have enough money, you can afford to eat the loss. That's not how it works. Like, your argument that we have enough money to eat the loss is a very poor one. As a matter of fact, if you think like that, then you can just unsubscribe and get the fuck out. Okay, so I'm back from the gym. It is about like 4 p.m. or 4:15 p.m. And so to give you a quick update on our ordeal this morning, I spoke with my sister, and so pretty much, well, long story short, actually, no, forget the long story short. Let's go to the long story. So the cop was there. They filed a police report. She is obviously a breach of contract, a breach of the lease here for changing the locks on us without our permission. It is not quite illegal because the city has changed a few laws that made it not as punishable for them to change the locks. But it's still a breach of lease. Spoke to the lawyer. The lawyer said, you know what, it's best if you start filing paperwork and processes for breach of lease, so you have multiple ways to get her out if one does not succeed. And so we are going to go ahead and file a breach. Well, we're going to send her a notice to rectify the breach of lease, or to rectify the mistake, or eviction paperwork are going to be filed for breach of lease. Now, so what did she do? All right, so she did not let she verbally said, she was like, she got into an argument with my sister, a screaming match. Like, I'm not paying the rent, and I'm not letting the inspector in. This is my home. I feel like she is completely delusional. and you know it's actually funny, and uh, it's sad. It's so pathetic. But okay, I'm not here to insult her anymore. I mean, we all know she's a deadbeat. But what am I saying? My thoughts are all scrambled. Okay, let me gather them together. The court-appointed inspector is not able to go in and do his job. Now, we we expect the property to be a mess. So we were not even planning to do any inspection, right? This is a court-appointed inspection. So we're like, look, you're the court. You deal with her. I mean, we have a tenant holdover in December that's going to get her out. But long story short, because she did change the locks, where she's not allowed to, it's illegal for her to do so. So we spoke to the lawyer. We have a lawyer, because what's the rule? When anything in business and everything in life, due diligence. Don't half-ass it. Half-assing it is for idiots and stupidity. Due diligence. So we spoke to a lawyer. We spoke to our lawyer, and we asked for his counsel. And he said, you know what? Go ahead and start putting the process, the motion in place of getting her out from the breach of lease perspective, because you want to have as many options and many ways to get a tenant out as best you can, right? So so that's what we're going to do. And so we're going to let her know that she is in violation of a lease by changing the locks. She either has to correct it by giving us a copy of the keys, or we're going to start another eviction procedure from the breach of lease section, which I think is genius, you know? And so we're going to go ahead and do that. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Send her that notice through email, and then start filing paperwork to let the court know that she violated her lease, breach of lease. So that's that. That's the update. Either way, remember, all of this would have been a complete disaster if we did not do the math. And I cannot stress this enough. I think I'm going to stress this in every video. In life, when you deal with money, nothing has to be done on impulse, and nothing has to be done without you understanding what the hell you're doing. Do the math, or have an understanding of how much is coming in and how much is coming out, so you are not left stranded or guessing. Math is not a guessing game. It's either yes or no. There's no maybe. You understand? And I'm telling you, if we got into this property and not being able to afford it outright, it would have been disaster. I mean, I can't even tell you the level of stress I would have been under. I'm stressed because she's annoying. She's filth. She's shit. So that stresses me out, you know? But can you imagine if she was a piece of shit and I was losing, like, I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me rant. Please leave comments below what you think. If you're a landlord, have you gone through this ordeal yourself? If you're a tenant and you are a deadbeat tenant, let me know why you're such a deadbeat. And if you're not a deadbeat and you're a good tenant, let me know what makes you so good. You know? But to all deadbeat tenants out there, I don't like you. To all deadbeat tenants out there, you suck. And to all deadbeat tenants out there, stay away from my properties. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe. See you next time on the next update of this crazy journey of ours, which is like being landlords, right? But it's gonna work out, and we're not gonna be deterred from selling this property because the math is just too good. So we're gonna get her out. We're gonna sue the hell out of her, get all of our monies back, and then, you know, laugh at her face. You know what I mean? Because you never reward bad behavior. Never reward bad behavior. And if you're a person who reward bad behavior, you're also shit. All right? Anyway, bye.